Aloha and welcome to Spirit Chat. I am glad to be back. I've been very busy doing a bunch of things, and I've been missing doing the podcasting, and hopefully, you've been missing listening to it. Today, I'm going to be doing an updated energy report, kind of talking about the energy that's going on right now, especially if you're sensitive, if you're awakening, if your abilities are heightening, and that sort of thing. You will find that you are typically very affected by energy and energy waves. So you want to imagine it kind of like an energy forecast, an energy weather report. And so for those of you who follow me, you're going to be very familiar with these. For those of you who don't, you're going to find that I do a lot of these often because as I teach about gifts and how to utilize them and how to develop them, it can be quite confusing when you're not separating uh, certain types of gifts, seeing messages, getting messages, receiving spirit guide messages, and also then just being tuned into the energy and being an energy reader. And so that can be confusing a lot of times as you're developing your gift. And so that's why I like to do the energy reports so that you can learn to separate some of the things that are going on around astrologically, spiritually, universal energy, all this type of energy that you're sensitive to in reading, and then trying to figure out how does this fit into my life? How does this fit into like my day-to-day stuff? How does this fit into my gifts? When I do the reports, I find that it can be very helpful for my students so that they can go, oh, okay, that's something different. And then they start learning to separate what's going on internally with their life, what's going on externally with their energy, and how their gift of being able to sense this energy is kind of making your brain intertwine everything. So right now we just glazed over the corn moon, harvest moon, whatever you want to call it, full moon of September. And there's some pretty intense energy, as there usually is. And I'm going to be talking about sort of what to expect kind of coming up, but also what's currently happening. So this will be a fun podcast for you. Right now, and for the last month, probably month and a half, if you're sensitive, you're most likely going to have been feeling like energetically like you're stuck in the mud. So the energy around you, a lot of people aren't aware of this energetic feeling that sort of encompasses their environment, their energetic environment, their physical environment, and they sort of relate it to just their own life. Oh, I feel stuck. I just cannot move forward. I'm feeling lethargic. I'm having a hard time getting things done. That's a lot of the energy that we've been encompassed by and surrounded by for the last 4 to 6 weeks. Just seriously feeling stuck in the mud, like you're just trying to move forward, but it just makes you tired, and it makes you frustrated because you're burning energy when you really feel like you're not getting anywhere. You're just feeling like just this energy is just burning, and you're tired, and it really can be frustrating. And during this time, you may find that you're having a hard time getting motivated. So, especially in the last few weeks, you probably have found that, you know what, I'm just I want to do things. I kind of have some ideas, but I just really just want to lay on the couch. That's like sounds way better. So it's like, even just doing physical things, you might just find that as well, not just mentally fried and burned out. And if you're in any type of stressful environment, you're probably going to find that your mental burnout and the way that you're handling situations has been a lot quicker to have you just go, oh, I just kind of shut down, just kind of like a robot where you're just overload and I'm okay. Yep, now I'm just shutting down. So you probably have been experiencing that a lot more. And even physically, I'm really good at having a physical routine with training and working out and that sort of thing, specifically because not like I want to be healthy. Well, I do, but my main focus on that is because with my abilities being so heightened, I'm really sensitive to all energies. And that being said, if I'm not on a very strict exercise routine or regimen, and I'm not working out a lot, like, I don't know, probably 3 times a week or more is better for me, I find that I start feeling the physical effects of my gifts being very, very high. And it starts making me feel just crappy. I feel terrible. And so a lot of times people look for to physically work out for the obvious reasons. It makes sure you feel good, releases hormones that are awesome. It gives you more energy. Your physical components work better. It's good for all your organs, your heart, your muscles, and all that. That's usually people's main focus. But if you're sensitive, if you're listening to this, it's also extremely, extremely important to keep your gifts and your physical body in balance in a way that you don't get sick from having your gifts, which you can. You can, and I'm not to freak anybody out or anything, but having heightened abilities can take a drain on your energetic body so much that it can move into the physical body. So it really, exercise takes care of your energetic body as well, and that's something that a lot of times people overlook. If you're sensitive, you don't have that option. You don't have the option to overlook that, because you will find that it affects your physical body. But even so, I'm really good at that. And this last 4 to 6 weeks, I'm like, really, I found it so difficult to just motivate myself and get on to my routine. It was ridiculous. And so that's a lot of the energy that's going on right now. The other thing that I've noticed is people are having trouble with clarity. And any energetic legs that you have out there, like if you're anything like me at all, and you diversify a lot of your energy, you're going to find that under normal circumstances, diversifying your energy is okay. During this energetic environment right now, it's not okay. It's like, so let's just say you diversified your energy into 8 different places. Now you have energy drain on 8 different little legs. So that's something that's going to be worse for you at this point in time. And so you're going to want to really choose and get some clarity on some of the things that you want to accomplish right now. That's going to be very important during this month, is pulling those energetic legs in. Just pull them all in. Just wrangle them all up and go start from scratch and go, okay, what is it that I really fully want to achieve by the end of this month or in the near coming future? What is a very specific goal that I want to move towards? That's going to be very important with this energy and what's kind of happening right now. And it also has to do with moving from one energetic house to another. And what I mean by that is moving from one frequency to another. We're still in the transition of moving over into another frequency. And so what everybody has been doing is what they normally do. They're bringing all their energetic baggage and all their hands and all these different things over, and they're trying to move this over into their new frequency, into their new energetic house, and that's not working very well. So how I explained it to my students the other day is it's almost like you've filled up your U-Haul full of all your stuff from your old house, your old energetic house, and where your old frequency was. And we're moving over to this new house, this new beautiful house that has this new frequency. Everything's all new. and you've loaded up everything this U-Haul, and on the road there you got stuck in the mud. That's where we're at right now. And you're so stuck in the mud that you feel like you're not going anywhere. And so you can see the new house, you can see it, but you're not allowed to get there until you get the U-Haul out of the mud. And so that's going to be a really important thing. And so you're going to have to start getting rid of all this energetic junk that you're trying to move forward with you into the new frequency. And the way that you need to move forward into the new frequency is start with a goal and something that you really want to gather up all your energy and powerfully move that in one lane moving forward. Bring all your power into one lane and push forward with that. Then when you start nearing the new frequency and you're really getting into that new house, that new energetic house, then you can start spreading out and diversifying your energy again. But until you get into that new frequency and that new house, you really want to conserve the energy and make it more powerful. So like, as you spread your legs and you're trying to do 8 things at one time, you're not as powerful as if you take all the energy with the 8 things and focus it into one point. You're a lot more powerful that way. And so what that'll do is it will help push you through that energetic mud. It will give you more horsepower with your U-Haul. It will push you through that point. We're kind of going through an energetic veil, and you really need all the momentum gathered into one direction. The other thing that you're going to notice right now is you're going to notice that where the last 4 to 6 weeks you weren't feeling very motivated and you were feeling frustrated and you were feeling like, oh, I'm just not getting anywhere and who cares because it just doesn't feel like I'm going anywhere. Just really kind of just non-motivated, whatever. What you're going to notice is right now you're going to start feeling sparks of desire and sparks, ideas sparking of where, but this sounds fun. I kind of desire to do this. So you're going to have all these things that are starting to pop up probably within the last week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks. And they're going to continue to do so moving forward where you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm feeling that desire again. I'm feeling that spark again, that drive. Although I still feel stuck in the mud. But at least that spark's back. At least I'm feeling something deep inside that wants me to move in this direction. That feels good when you start to get that spark. So it's kind of like that spark is going to become your light at the end of the tunnel. So you're kind of starting to feel that light. And when you start to feel that spark in that light, it's going to give you some motivation to get out of that stuck in the mud feeling. And so in order to do that again, you have to pull all your energy and focus onto one point. So I can't reiterate that enough. This month, pull all your stuff in and focus in one direction. Make that your manifestation goal or whatever. Just pick a thing, like one thing, not 3 things, but pick one thing. I'm horrible at this, by the way, and I absolutely had to do it. The last couple days. I was like, you know what? I definitely can feel like my energy is being depleted and weakened by doing all of these things. And this is something, it's just my lifestyle. And so what I did personally the last couple days is I started revisiting all aspects of my life, just my routine during the daytime. As I tell you guys, when you start feeling lethargic with energy, one of the tricks that I do is I change everything. I'm not a morning person. I got up at 5 a.m. the other day, and if anybody knows me, they'd be like, that's absolutely nuts. Why would you ever do that if you're not getting on an airplane? It's like the furthest idea from my head. But I just felt this huge desire I have to switch up the energy. I have to switch up my routine of what I'm doing. It's almost like instead of trying to do the same thing to get out of the mud, you're starting to try to do different things and wiggle out and use all different directions and all different ways to move out of that mud, right? And so the next thing that I did, which made a huge difference within 24 hours, I kid you not, is for me with my business and then how I was spending my time. I decided that I have been dividing my time into trying to do too many things in doing them all well, and I thought, nope, I'm going to take all of my time now and it's all going to be devoted into one direction. And that's the direction that I'm devoting my time to. And so, like, for me, the way I did that in my work is I, redid some of the stuff that I do for my marketing and all that kind of thing. I did some stuff on how I'm reaching out to people. How I was working with my students. It's all becoming one focus into one direction. And it made me feel better immediately. I got immediate relief going, wow, okay, now I don't have to do all of these things. I just have to do this one thing. This one thing is my main goal. And I could immediately feel the strength and the power of the energy propelling me forward. And then within 24 hours, I started noticing shifts and changes related to making that shift, that I was actually truthfully kind of shocked that it literally took like 24 hours, truthfully. Usually, I'm happy if I'm seeing results within like 7 to 10 days or something. You work on it and you start making it a habit and a routine. The other thing that I did, and that was for like my work and career area. So don't think it has to be like one thing in all areas. So that was my work and career area and what I was doing to fill my daytime, large portion of my day. But then I also decided to do that focus thing physically as well. So that got me back on track with my physical stuff and like my exercising and all of that. And I immediately felt better there. So know that if you're feeling drained and feeling stuck in the mud, you will need to reel in all of your energy and pinpoint it and focus it into one direction, whether it be career-wise, business-wise, whether it be relationship-wise. If you're dealing with all kinds of relationship issues in your relationship, you need to just pick one issue, one area. If it's money stuff, then you need to just pull it all in and focus your money in one direction and stop trying to do all things at one time. So that's going to be required to kind of punch a hole. We want to gather up our energy like a rocket and punch a hole through this heavy veil to kind of get us moving through, and then that will help bring the U-Haul. And also during this time, because you're focusing your energy in one place, you're also going to be releasing a lot of energetic junk that's not worth your time right now. We really want to be picky and choosy about where we're spending our energetic time. And so you should have time to do this around now, because all the energy of all things have kind of slowed down a little bit just for the circumstances. But one of the other things that you're going to want to watch for is, as we're moving into this new frequency and this month, the spirit activity is starting to pick up again and get and heighten. And for those of you who are sensitive, again, as you're moving through this thick veil, as you're moving towards that higher frequency, and I was just talking about to my students about this the other day, you're going to notice that a lot of your gifts are going to heighten, and a lot of people are going to be noticing spirit activity. They're going to start having a lot more spirit awareness. You're going to maybe see a lot more things out of the corner of your eye, sense a lot more things, be very drawn to or interested in anything regarding spirit communication, because the spirit realm is getting closer to our frequency, or we're getting closer to their frequency, I would say. And so that is becoming more aligned or closer. So we're going to be more aware of a lot more spiritual stuff, a lot more going on in the spiritual realm, synchronistic numbers, things like that. You might be awakened in the middle of the night because you can't sleep and will most likely sense a lot of spiritual energy during that time. So if you're sensitive, the stuff that's going to be coming up for you, if it hasn't already, is most likely you're going to be experiencing a lot more spiritual activity in your life, or your spiritual senses will be a lot more heightened, or you'll start getting more spiritual signs and signals. So that's also going to be happening. And then the reason that I also wanted to bring that up, just besides that you should be aware of it, is we have a couple of different things happening energetically on a micro and a macro level. And this is something that I've been trying to teach everybody about, is the micro and the macro energetic stuff that you're going to be experiencing. So on a macro level, on a large scale level, I have never during my lifetime seen the vibration so low around on a macro level. And so you will have in the past, I have in the past experienced times where there was situations or things globally or even in your town or whatever that caused the vibrations around you to lower. And this is a time where the vibrations on a macro level, on a large scale, are lower for the longest period of time that I ever remember. There might be other times that other people remember, but this is the longest that I remember. And so you don't want to get wrapped up into what's energetically happening on a macro level and pull that into your life onto a micro level. So on a micro level, you are going to probably experience some energetic things that we've been talking about, like being stuck in the mud, lethargic, starting to have these sparks of desires happen and things like that. These are things you want to pay attention to, the micro level energy. You want to be really careful to separate that from the macro energy. And that is, I have a pretty simple trick for that. You want to be very aware right now of anything that's causing you to feel frustrated or like upset, angry, any of low vibration emotion. If you can pinpoint it, it's an event that took place, a situation that took place, an encounter that took place. If you're feeling like, oh, I just feel irritated today, or like I just feel so I don't know, like I'm just irritated, I'm frustrated, I just feel like I want to snap at everybody. If you're feeling like that and you ask yourself, you kind of go, okay, so if somebody said, yeah, what's happened? Like, why are you like that? And you're like, yeah, I don't know. If you have no idea, if you cannot pinpoint it to a situation, a person, something that happened in your environment, specifically your personal environment, not like on a global thing, but a personal thing, then you're picking up on this macro energy, right? You're picking up on a lot of that. And you can pick it up anywhere. It could be like something you watched on TV, somewhere you went, somebody said something, whatever. But you want to be aware of that and go, okay, you know what? I don't want to match this vibration. Because what happens if you match that vibration, again, you cause yourself a whole boatload of problems, because then you regenerate and you recycle this energy. And as you recycle this energy, what happens? You recycle it into your future. And you recycle it by communicating to the universe and communicating to the energy waves that are out there. Hey, this is the wave that I'm riding right now. I'm going to ride on this wave, so send me more, Or it will flow you in the direction of the wave that you're currently riding on. And that wave that you're currently riding on may not have even come from you, was generated from you, but you just jumped on it and it carried you away and you didn't get out of it, and it happens to be of low vibration. You really just don't want to do that right now, because there's some super cool opportunities coming. and some really good stuff that's going to start happening and aligning for you in October. And so as we move forward, especially in September, you want to be really careful about what energetic wave that you're going to ride into October. You really, really do. Because you don't want to miss those opportunities. You don't want to miss that good stuff that's really going to be coming and popping up here and there in October. And so if it's a situational thing, if it's something that you're dealing with on a micro level, where you're feeling stuck in the mud with career or finances or your relationship, and you're feeling like you're just beating the same pattern over and over again, then that's when you can take some action, and that's when you can be actionable, and you can go, okay, you know what, I don't want to ride this wave into October, so I need to make some shifts and changes here. I need to figure out, is this worth diversifying all my energy to? Is it that important? Is it this important to be this upset about these things? And if it is, then you need to revisit those aspects. But there will be a lot of stuff going on relationship-wise also, from the last month and even currently, where there's going to be a lot of relationship stuff that you're going to have to just let go of. And that doesn't mean necessarily letting go of the relationship, but it means letting go of just the crap, the argument, letting go of the energy, letting go of the resentment, letting go of the frustration, and just letting it go. There's a lot of relationship dynamics right now that are coming to the surface that need to just be let go. They don't need to be addressed. They don't need to be revisited. We don't need to have the argument for the 1800 millionth time. We don't need to let's try this again and again. You just need to go, you know what, this part of this relationship isn't working. I'm no longer focusing my energy on it. And however it turns out, it turns out. But I'm no longer just going to dump more fuel on that fire. So that's another thing that you'll want to be aware of is if there's anything that you're struggling with relationship wise, you just need to be like, you know what, just, I don't even care, universe, just let me know how it works out, but I'm not going to focus upon it. Because, and you really need to make sure that anybody struggling with certain things in their life that kind of maybe you're arguing with about, you no longer try to hold that weight for them. You let them handle and deal with the stuff that they're dealing with, and you just be like, you know what, like, you do your thing, and we'll meet over here but I don't want to help you drag this stuff forward, because what that's going to do right now with the energy is it's just going to cause a lot of friction and unnecessary arguments and unnecessary stuff. There's a lot of people most likely in your life going through a lot of stuff right now. And so, in as empaths, as those who are psychically sensitive, as energy readers, we want to typically help those people. But this is one of those times where you need to allow those people to help themselves, and you need to, again, focus your energy in like a torpedo fashion and to one strong road and move that forward. And so you're going to find that that's very important. So the other thing, just what I'm doing to add in, is clearing like mad. Because of the low vibration stuff that's going around on a macro level, because that on a micro level we're kind of feeling stuck in the mud, and the spiritual veil is thinner right now, but it's also going to be consistently thinner as we move into another frequency. We're going to have to be a lot more aware of what spiritual vibrations that we're aligning with. So not only do you want to make sure that you're riding a positive, more high frequency wave moving into October and moving into the higher frequency, not only is it important to be aware of it just for opportunity and desire and manifestation things, it's also important because the communication between the spirit realm and our physical realm is going to become a lot more powerful. The strength to it is going to be heightened. The veil is going to be thinner. And if the tone on a macro level is low vibrations, most likely you're going to be around people who their spiritual team might be of a lower vibration, whether they know it or don't know it. Everybody always has this team of spirits kind of hanging out around them. They might hang out a long time, they might hang out a short time, but just spirits are attracted to people as well. And so if your frequency is of a lower vibration, if you're riding that wave, what are you going to attract? You're going to attract in lower vibrational frequencies on a spirit level. So that's going to be something that you're going to want to be aware of. Because why? Not because they're going to flip a chair or knock on your door or, do crazy stuff in your house, but because that the worst kind of, I feel like, low vibration spiritual consequence is that they start to try to bring your thoughts down vibrationally and really get in your head, because that's the way spirits communicate, is they communicate telepathically. And so they get into your head and they start to try to manipulate things to where you're feeling discouraged, or your perception, you start to become a pessimist instead of an optimist, and you start to be shut down to how energy works and how much control you have over it, because they don't want you to have control over it. They want you to feel really crappy, right? And so that's going to be what you're going to want to be aware of, is the vibrational frequency which surrounds you all the time. And so it's going to be important for you to clear a lot and be aware of your thoughts and aware of, is this my stuff or something else going on around me, micro level or whatever, or my macro level. And you know what? It doesn't even matter. You don't have to figure out where it came from, the grocery store lady, your cousin, your parents, your kids, or your friend. You don't need to, or even watching the news, you don't need to know where it's coming from. All you need to know is that I don't want to ride that wave. So I'm like, out, you go ahead. And then you want to find a new wave. And the way that you find a new wave is by clearing. And I am talking clearing like a mad person, like clearing night, clearing maybe during the day if you're feeling frustrated, clearing, and smudging. What I mean by that is, you can use sage, you can use gemstones, you can use incense, but also in your bedroom at night, because the undertone of the spiritual activity at night is very low right now. So they're really causing a lot of issues at night during people's dreams and that sort of thing. So what we've been doing in my family is selenite and tourmaline is very powerful for that. And so I've been bringing in a lot of selenite and tourmaline products, but we've been also wearing selenite and tourmaline. I have these super cool selenite towers, me and my kids have in our rooms, and wearing selenite and tourmaline. So that's one of the things that we do besides the smudging with the sage, incense, that sort of thing. And I've got some really awesome clearing kits that I brought in if you're interested. I guess I should probably put the link below just in case. But that being said, you want to be very aware in clearing of your space, and you want to be very aware of your thought process and whether it belongs to you or doesn't belong to you. And you want to be focusing all your energy on moving forward into pinpointing, pick a thing. Don't be trying to do all things. It's not going to work very well for you right now. And you're going to be having these sparks of desires and kind of ideas popping up, and you'll want to make plans to move forward with that thing. And a lot of things are going to be coming that will align with that nicely in October. So hopefully you found this helpful and you're not feeling too frustrated. Like I said, that's just kind of the chasing your tail theme. We're going to be coming to an end with that. I think we covered relationships, the micro, the macro energy. And as always, if you enjoyed this, please comment below. I check all my comments on YouTube. I love it when you guys comment. If you want to make sure that you have are in on more energy reports and that sort of thing, make sure that you subscribe, follow, and whatever. And if you're interested in classes, check out the Empath University. But anyways, I hope that you have the most amazing day. And until next time, aloha.